Absolutely. Sounds good. Well, in case you're not sure, today's topic is manifestation. And Katherine is amazing at that. She's been teaching classes and doing all sorts of things, but I'll let her tell you more about that. I am Mari Cartagenova, also known as Medium Mari, and I am a psychic medium and animal communicator. And I also help to find lost pets with the help of spirit. And glad everybody's joining us today. Love to have everybody aboard. If you're missing it now, watch the replay. Everything still works. Like when we pull a card, that would still be for you. So we have to remember to pull our card of the day. And welcome to, all right, you got it. Okay. And welcome to Spirit Chat. I have an intro for Katherine that I can read, but why don't you introduce yourself and then we can introduce our guest.
Hi, everyone. Like Mari, I do psychic mediumship and animal communication. I also sit for physical mediumship, and I'm a transfiguration medium. And we're starting to develop other forms of mediumship. So I actually led my trance class. This was quite fun. I'm leading them into channeling with the ETs, and I transfigure ETs and elementals, which is a little different. So you might think I'm batty, but I actually have caught it on film. So there you go. But today we're focusing on mental mediumship and psychic mediumship. And I'm so excited. I also know Katherine. We all met, I think, around the same time, about 7 or 8 years ago. And she's just a beautiful light. And I've worked with her. And she's just lovely. So we're going to talk about it after we introduce her or let her introduce herself. We'll also be doing mini readings, and Katherine's light glows.
That's for sure. She's very sparkly, like a little fairy. But
yeah, I was just talking about I channel the fairies. I'm like, I think I channel fairies 24/7.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I am a fairy.
I know. I think you are too. So,
but Katherine, I transfigure the fairies.
That's
they transfigure me. My ears elongate and they wave.
See, I have to buy the fake ones and put them on because I'm in human body.
So they have a grand old time with me, the elementals.
Oh, I would love to learn that and sit with you and do that sometime and see if I could. I've channeled the ETs, the Galactic Federation, but I didn't transform. I don't do transfiguration like Mrs. McGonagall.
Oh, they have my finger elongating now. And I don't know who's who in the ET world. I haven't studied it yet. But I have photos of my middle finger elongated. And another medium, as this always happens, guys, said to me, "This is so strange, but I think you're going to be working with ETs and you'll know it's them because your finger's going to grow. That makes no sense. In fact, your middle finger." And wow. I start laughing. I said, "I will show you a picture with my middle finger elongated."
It's so cool.
Wow.
Awesome. Well, they're
awesome.
very much here right now. So.
Yes, for sure. Definitely. We have definitely a lot of other helpers, life forms and things that are, surrounding us, things that we can't see. But let me introduce you to our amazing guest. Katherine Glass is an international and amazingly gifted psychic medium, energy healer, and spiritual teacher. She was listed in the top 50 psychics and mediums in the US in 2016 in the book by Jennifer Diamond, and was awarded Psychic of the Year in 2013 and 2019 by Shea Parker's Best American Psychics. Katherine is also the co-founder of the Healing Essence Center in Concord, Mass, which is an amazing place. If you live near there, don't walk, go there. There's acupuncture, energy healing, all sorts of very cool things. And Katherine specializes in spirit communication, psychic intuitive readings, energy healing, and teaching, of course. So welcome, Katherine. Thank you so much for joining us. And it's a pleasure to have you on, and you're already glowing.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for having me, you guys. It's always a pleasure to serve, to be of service and show up and do these wonderful events. I love them. Yeah. So What are we doing today? We're talking about manifesting, yeah?
Yeah, whatever you're feeling, whatever messages you're getting, but we thought manifesting would be good now that we're sort of moving, we're not totally done with winter here, as you can see out my window.
Yeah.
But hopefully moving towards spring and what new things, growth, rebirth, what new things you would like to manifest for your future. So absolutely.
So from my perspective, some things I'd like to just add to the pot here for about manifestation and seasonal stuff, like Mara, you mentioned the spring, in the Chinese 5-element system, earth, air, fire, water, ether, spring is the season of wood or creativity and not fire, air, water, ether. It's earth. No, earth is late summer. Anyway, spring is the time of the liver, which has to do with creativity and new growth, like Mari was saying, rebirth and growth. And it's a wonderful time to plant your seeds kind of now-ish into March, meaning metaphysical seeds too, not just literal seeds. Ideas, visions, dreams, goals you may be dreaming for yourself. And because the spring is when the energy comes from deep within the earth up into the materialized atmosphere to give you that urge, that spring fever feeling when you're just like, I just feel so alive. I want to do something. I don't even know what to do with myself. I just want to do something. Get out there,
Right.
That restless creative feeling. And it's a wonderful time for manifesting as well. And so just thinking about that, taking advantage of that season can be very helpful energetically behind your dreams and goals and things you want to manifest, from what may seem like a small manifestation goal to the biggest of the big. So I'm going to give you a really from my personal life example of how I manifest naturally. And then of course there are tools that we can go over if you'd like, some tools that I teach.
Sure.
But here's an example, guys. So, the motivation for this started because I have a grown child who lives in Europe, and he has somehow landed in Portugal. He started in the Netherlands and now he's in Portugal. And I just, want to obviously be able to engage with him throughout his life and see him. And right now his life is planted there. So we went to visit him last March, and I absolutely fell in love with the place. Energetically, it felt like home. It was just magical to me. And then I found out astrologically, my Venus line runs right through Lagos in Portugal, southern Portugal. And so there was this in love feeling there for me. And so I know nobody there really, and met a couple people just in chatting, met a healer and stuff. But I said to Jonathan, my husband, I said, we could teach here. I want to do stuff here. We actually were teaching a little bit with Josh's crowd, the 20 somethings in his farm community, hanging out, people, bringing them our wisdom, which was a joy. And I just decided I would like to manifest a part-time life there somehow, maybe for winters or something, or even we're just going for 2 weeks in March, building it. But we just put out a flyer, created a workshop. We've announced it. We're finding a place to teach, and I'm setting the intention to plant the anchor energetically to show up physically, offer a class or a workshop. And I don't know if people are going to sign up yet or not. I'm hoping they do. We have a few connections and people are spreading the word, but it might only be, 6 people may show up, but that's okay, because what that does is that anchors the energy. It tells the universe, this is my intention. I'm open to you. Thank you for working with me. I have such gratitude for that. And then you let go, and you just don't try to control, don't try to grab, don't go into angst and fear and impatience. You just have to really let go. And that's probably one of the biggest challenges most of us have in manifesting. And sometimes you get mixed messages from different teachers of manifestation. They'll say, oh, law of attraction, you have to stay positive the whole time. And if one negative thought slips in, you'll blow it. And that really isn't true. We're human, and we have to be able to flow with the expansions and contractions that come along with our desires to manifest. So I would say to you, in all your beautiful, imperfect humanity, allow that light of your spirit to just take over and flow through no matter what. Trust that it's happening for you, for your highest good. And I always say, this or better for my highest good, let it be so.
Better.
And then
like that.
Let go. Don't ask how, don't ask when. Obviously you do your physical footwork, you do your research, you anchor your logistical things, like if you were trying to manifest a new home, you would gather information. What areas would you like to be maybe living in? Maybe connect with a real realtor there in real time. Set your intentions, and then there comes that point where you can't push the river anymore. You just have to let go. And my whole life has really worked that way. It's been a combination of intuition, radical trust, surrender, and making actual concrete steps toward my goals.
Amazing.
Yeah, that is amazing. And I love that, as you were talking and you were saying this or better. So you don't just set the intention for one just specific, I only want this very narrow thing. I want this or something even better that I can't even imagine. Yeah. And that is really important, I think, because I think a lot of times where people, when they talk to me, sort of get hung up on how it has to be or how it has to work out, but I think setting the intention for this or something even more amazing that you can't imagine is fabulous. And that's words of wisdom.
Yeah, perfectionism is a really big thing. A lot of people struggle with that. It's supposed to look a certain way. And it's actually in our favor to learn how to let go of that stuff, because it makes you grow and expand. So you become even more powerful manifester when you remove those barriers or those guidelines, It's just worked for me.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And I love that phrase too. I think I'll incorporate that phrase.
Yeah.
Or better, because I've always told clients that, you can have a visualization and, follow steps to manifesting, creating, but remember, you're doing it from the perception of you as a human.
Right.
Your higher self may have a different pathway, which in the end turns out to work out even better. And that's the same thing you're saying, but the way you say it, I think will be more palatable for my clients. This or even better versus this or whatever my higher self deems would be appropriate. I like your way better.
And one caveat you can add to that too. If there are other people involved in your dream and vision, for example, how will it affect my family? How will it affect my loved ones? You say this or better for the highest good of all concerned, so be it. You're adding more energies in there, but the universe doesn't mind, Well, the universe is just pure energy. So,
that's reality. Whatever you manifest or create, you're going to want Jonathan to come along and enjoy the fruits of your labor. So I don't think you'd be very happy with the end result if he said, "Oh, I'm staying put. You could relocate."
No, definitely not. And he's teaching along with me, so that's really nice because we work together and we get to co-collaborate.
Yeah, you guys look really good together.
That's fun.
But that's one of those, be careful what you wish for.
Exactly. Well, exactly. Winter, to your point, that's really important. I have a colleague that I teach with, Kimberly, and she's a wonderful, she's a coach and a medium and all of these wonderful intuitive abilities she has. And we teach together manifesting classes, actually. And she tells a whole story about how she manifested her husband and made a list. And, you need to be pretty specific and then not too attached. It's a fine balance there. But, be sure that you say things like within, a 25-mile radius or something, because he lives in New York. It's like things, it's not necessarily going to be exact perfection, but be as clear as you can, because some people manifest the love of their life and then I forgot to mention proximity, and now they're in California and I'm here, or something.
Right.
Like that. So just detail is important too.
Absolutely. So let's just take a sec and see if anyone is asking for a reading, and then we can jump back into the manifesting. Come on, because usually, nobody?
Yeah, well, I would love the manifesting tips as well. I think that would be awesome to share with our audience, maybe after we do a couple of
readings. I can take you through the exercise really quickly.
That would be cool.
Yeah, like an
do a reading or two and then jump back into the discussion.
Yeah. So before we do that, those of you that are on right now that are listening, you can be thinking of something that you'd like to manifest in your life. It can be simple. It doesn't even have to be completely specific. It could be a feeling like I'd like a different job. I'm not sure what job, but I want to be happier in my next world of work, for example. Or I'd like to manifest a car or a home or a feeling like I'd like to find more energy and time in my life. I'd like to have more personal space, whatever it is, just get an idea in your mind of something you'd like to manifest that's fairly tangible and specific with words. And then we'll do the exercise.
So everybody,
awesome.
Thinking brains on, and think with your heart organ. And then I'm going to ask Suzanne to unmute. Suzanne Porto, you would raise your hand. For some reason, I don't know. Whenever I'm speaking, it doesn't do speaker mode. Isn't that strange? Mari's on the screen. We're trying speaker mode, but.
Yeah, maybe you might have to set it on your side, because I set it on mine for, for speaker view. So I think you can go up to the view where it says view, and you should be able to hit speaker.
View, but okay.
Yeah.
But I'm talking and I'm in the small box, which is fine.
Can she unmute herself?
I did.
We can hear her.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
What's your question or your?
For manifestation, do I tell you what I want to manifest, or you're gonna just?
Oh, no, you tell me.
Oh, I would like to manifest a job that fulfills me professionally and spiritually and ethically. That's what I'd like.
Okay, great. So you're very clear about your adjectives: professionally, spiritually, and ethically. And what's great about that is, what's your name again?
Sue.
Susan, what's great about that, Sue, is that it's they're all things that are like, you can feel them pretty much, professionally. Yeah, you can get a feeling of your professional self, right? You know what it feels like to embody your expert self, your professional self. I'm just going to, for the sake of fun, ask a little more specifically, and you don't necessarily have to do this. Would the professional side of it be something completely different than you're already trained in, or that you do, or is it along the same lines?
I'm trained it, and it's along the same lines.
Great.
Maybe, yeah.
Great. So that's even easier. So you can then kind of go into your expert self in your mind and in your body, just sort of embody that posture and how it feels when you're working and you're in your expertise and your knowledge, like right now I'm on this program and I'm in my expertise teacher self, right? And so this is an area of my life where I'm not that insecure anymore. So you know what that feels like. So you take a moment and you can really embody that feeling, and you know how that feels. Feeling the vibrational frequency and the thought that goes with those frequencies is really what it's all about. It's how you're vibrating. So if you only work from your mental body and think, oh, I want a profession that makes me happy and that I already am familiar with and is fulfilling. You're thinking it, but that's just your mental body making a lot of thought. And that's the beginning. Then you have to, like Winter said, visualize from your heart organ. So then you bring the mind or the chakra here, the third chakra where you visualize, you see a stream of energy connecting that brow chakra right into your throat and heart. And then even into your third chakra, which is the power, your personal power, your right identity in the universe. I'm in my right place. I am. And you work you allow the energy or the embodiment, the feeling, the frequency to build around feeling like your expert self. Oh, what does it feel like when I'm really aligned with my Dharma, with my right work? Wow, I feel really good. I'm really in flow. I feel comfortable. I feel confident. And from there, you expand that feeling into what would be spiritually fulfilling for me? Well, maybe it's helping others. Maybe it's feeling like I'm really in service to humanity and the universe and making a difference and kind of dancing with the divine, and there's this groove and it feels really good. And so then you've got that spiritual expansive frequency coming in, right? And then you bring it into, I think you said financially. What did you
ethically,
say? Ethically. Great word. Ethically. What is ethic? It's integrity, right? It's being completely aligned with, well, what Barbara Brennan calls the Hara line, your life purpose, your ethics. And ethics as a vibration is beautiful. Think of a good king or a good queen, good ethics. Someone with integrity and leadership naturally, who wants to lead with truth and honesty and integrity, not be part of a soup pot of sneaky tactics around the back door kind of stuff. So you know the difference of how that feels. So you would just allow that word to vibrate through your being, including these chakras, and just imagine or allow yourself to hold that frequency or thought or energy. And what usually will happen is you'll start to feel kind of electrified, like really good, a little bit high, a little bit like, woo, this is great. A little bit of a roller coaster feeling. That's the vibrational frequency you want to vibrate at in your emotional body as you allow yourself to expand into professionalism, ethics, and your spiritual purpose. It's like a dance of these three qualities, and it's all about vibration and frequency. And, music can really help. If you're the kind of person who just can't sit quietly and sit still in meditation because it just makes you, either too internal or kind of get distracted, put on some music you love and allow that juice, that life force to move through you as you're thinking and feeling this. All you need to be doing is really feeling good, feeling your individual essence as you apply it to these concepts. And it's magic. It's how you create magical and miracles of the highest kind.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome.
That was amazing. Really.
That was just channeled.
I know. I'm just like, because that's what I was thinking. I'm like, I don't think she had this prepared. I think it was just whoosh, in and out. So no, that's what makes it awesome. But I had a question. I don't know if you can answer that. As a mom, anyone that's a mom, like, is it possible to help manifest good things for your
or
kids?
Your children?
Because then it's not you. You're trying to, help one of them. So does that work? Can you do that?
Well, I sure did it with their educations, man. Like, how is this going to happen? And I really wanted it, and I was clear for them. I think there's twofold here, Mari. One is what I said earlier, this or better for the highest good of all concerned, right? Okay. And to bear in mind, this is so important for us mommies to remember. I love that Khalil Gibran quote, your children are not your children. They come through you, not from you. They are the sun. They are the arrows of tomorrow that shoot from your bow. We have to really remember our children are full souls in younger bodies, all unto themselves, and they're here with their own path. And so with that acknowledgement and respect for who they are, you can hold a bigger container, again, with your vision for them and your love, all the while honoring their own karmic journey. Part of their karma was to choose you as a parent. So I believe that gives me the opportunity and the okay from the universe, from the ethics of the universe, to be able to
writing it down.
Yeah, to manifest and intend. I would say something rather than say, I want that school for my child, even if your heart really does, you might say, I want the right school for right now for my child. So that leaves room for your child's karmic soul journey, along with your good intention for the highest good for them. So it keeps it a little bit open to interpretation, but with the same highest positive intention. If you're too controlling about it's this school and no other, you're actually blocking the flow, I think.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. But even in like more esoteric things about helping them feel better, or if they're going through like a psychological thing to sort of help them work through that. Like, would that also work?
Well, sure. You use all your tools in the world, like finding good therapists or
of course,
the healers and stuff. And then on a spiritual and energetic, intentional level during your meditation prayer time, this is a beautiful one. What I do is I see the soul body or the astral image of my person, say your child, and I put them literally in my chakra healing hands, and I hold them in a vision of their highest self. I see them fully manifested and realized as their highest soul self in this lifetime. Seeing them, and often for me, that vision manifests as golden energy showering down on them, and their arms are open and they're laughing and they're kind of spinning and twirling and just really in their power and their joy, and not even knowing specifically what that is, just seeing them in their highest self. Because when we send worry thoughts out there about our children, we're actually connecting to the child and sending worry, anxiety, energy into their field and can create more anxiety for them. So it's better if you can't control your own worry or anxiety at the given time, it's best to put them on a beautiful etheric platter, place your child there and hand the platter up to the divine. I give my kids to Divine Mother many times and say, you take them to, like my son who lives in Europe, he's an ocean away. It's difficult. So you do it, God, Goddess, divine source, whatever your words are. You take care of him. You bless him. I know he's safe in your hands no matter what. And then I let go and I feel so much lighter. So yes, you can manifest the best for your children, but you can't be attached to the specifics and the outcome because they have a soul plan. So honor their soul plan. If they have to learn from an anxiety, depression stage of their life, your kids fall down and skin their knee, right? You can't control that all the time. So you help them after they do, or, once they do, but they needed that experience for their growth. So if your child is suffering with depression or anxiety, first try to get on an understanding of accepting this is part of their soul journey. Now, how do we work with it? How do I respond?
Great. No, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you.
Yes, good pointers. Very good.
So as Katherine was talking about, it sounds like you can manifest, obviously for yourself, probably first, but then the sky's the limit if you want to try to send good intentions to other people, your kids, your husband, whatever. I mean,
planet. You can hold the whole planet in light.
Exactly. Yeah. So, or your animals, we don't want to forget about them. So, absolutely. It's such a powerful tool that everybody that's listening or anybody that's interested, definitely can look into this more or reach out to Katherine. Like she was saying, she does a lot of classes on this. And, obviously there's lots of information out in the ether about it, but, she's really good. So check it out.
It's, it's experiential. Your thoughts absolutely are important in how you live your day-to-day life. I sent this to Mari earlier. I was watching a little clip of Dr. Joe Dispenza. I don't know if you've heard of him, but he's really into the science of energy and studying consciousness and self-healing on the physical level in particular. And he talked about how you can have the best diet in the world and the best exercise and all these things. But if your thoughts are vibrating at a level of control, fear, perfectionism, doubt, worry, all of that, where you're tightly wound, your cells, you're actually speaking to your physical cells in your body, and they start manifesting proteins, he was saying, of fear, like fear proteins. And we are spirit embodied, right, in the physical forms. Think about it. Spirit is energy. Spirit is made of light. Light is information. So we are living, walking light and information. And once we learn how to harness that understanding and see ourselves as that powerful being of light and information, we come into this lifetime with all the light and information we need right within our spirit. So when we can learn how to quiet the mind, move out of the ego mind, we need our ego on earth. I'm not saying it's bad, but to move out of that space and more into your spirit connection, you actually can connect with that power of light and information in yourself. And nobody knows better than you and the divine. You co-create together what is the best information for you. So if you're connected to the information highway in your own light, your soul, your energy body, you can access information that you need for the next best step or whatever on your path. But it's very important that you don't let that ego mind, that programmed fear mind in the world of 10,000 things to dumb you down and go, oh, well, that's not really possible. I mean, how are you going to do that? You have to stop that little child and say, go play. I am infinite light and information. And you have to really allow yourself the playground to hang out in that energy. And then don't push it. If it's enough, and take a break and go be human again,
Yeah, exactly. That makes a lot of sense because it's very easy with like all the manifestation or anything in our daily lives to get super caught up in, oh, I can't do that. Or, XYZ said I can't do it. So when you even think of, I know a lot of people that think of manifesting or like, oh, I would really like, but oh, I can't do it because of, whatever.
Yeah.
And you're already stopping yourself before you've even gotten started.
Well, you
And
know
like,
what? Yep.
no, go ahead. No, I was just
I
going to
just
say
want to
that.
use, I want to use Sue for an example. Perfect
Sure.
example of all of us in humanity, right? So she's in her human life, but she had the inclination, the knowing in herself, the knowing to say, I want a different job. I'm feeling an urge, a desire for something more spiritually connected, ethical, and professional. And just that inkling, that comes from her light, her information, her knowing, right? And nobody told her, Sue, you really should want a more ethical job and a more spiritual connection to in service to the world. No, that came from within her. That's that desire. And I think our training in our society has taught us from school age on up to block that and just do what's expected to succeed. And it's when you take that chance and veer to the left or right of that box that you get to really explore the power of your divinity, really, your soul. And I just want to say too, evolutionarily speaking, back in whatever times, we had to survive. It was like disease everywhere and ice cold weather, and we needed, root vegetables in the cellar for the winter to survive. That was basic. We didn't have a lot of time to be thinking about what is my sole purpose, right? So
Right.
we have evolved, right? The planet, the consciousness, humans are evolving to a higher level of consciousness now where we're starting to ask, who am I? Why am I here? What is my purpose? Now, there were yogis in the ancient 5,000 years ago in the ancient Vedas and stuff that did have this knowledge and awareness, and Buddha and the enlightened ones who came down to help into the world. But in general, the human race has been in survival mode. We're still sort of in survival mode, but it's an old brain programming that tells us that we have to be at that job, at that desk that we hate for 35 years, when really it's not true. So we have to believe that we can vibrate higher than that.
Exactly. Like you were saying, it's more getting out of your human, as Tony would say, and getting more into your soul self.
Yeah.
And getting out of all the voices in your head that you've been told your whole life and connecting with your soul, your spirit, your energy, and allowing that to blossom, regardless of how crazy some people might say it is. But if it feels right to you, it is right for you.
Absolutely. And this show right here today is proof of how far we've come and how much the planet has changed. You can find shows, like this 24/7 now. Every day there's somebody talking about this stuff, about consciousness, about your psychic ability, metaphysical stuff. Whereas before, like in the 1950s, you were crazy if you talked about this stuff. Mainstream, I mean, it's a lot more accessible now because we're evolving.
The other thing I want to point out too is that I think as bad as COVID was, one of the silver linings is that the way people work has evolved.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just mentioned, there's no more thinking that you have to be at the desk 55 hours a week. It was fascinating. I mean, there's still, even though COVID precautions have been removed, they're still holding trials, the legal system. They're still having people come in via Zoom virtually, which I thought was interesting. Doctors are still seeing patients not just the telemeds, but just regular doctors, which 5 years ago, telemedicine, none of them would do that unless it was like a special benefit you had under a particular insurance policy. It was almost unheard of. And this is freeing time up. And it's also coinciding with, I see an uptick of people wanting to know, why are they here? What is their soul's purpose?
It was a wake-up call for sure.
Yeah, because not only the death and destruction that we faced during that time, but also now people are able to have more time to think about that because they're not commuting because at least for Long Island, I mean, it's a 2-hour vehicle commute into Manhattan, and a lot of people work in Manhattan that live on Long Island. So all of a sudden, they're commuting via the computer. So commuting means going from the kitchen to the office.
Well, this is,
bedroom.
Winter, you're bringing up a really important topic or subject or vibe underlying this whole discussion we're having, which is, look at this example. This is perfect. So COVID, right? Everything is perception. Okay. So some people think, oh my God, this was terrible. And now everyone's stuck in their homes and working from Zoom and they can't go out and my life is limited. And so they're believing and they're feeling that vibrational frequency. Yet other people have said, wow, Eureka, I've had an enlightened thought, I have a world of possibility now. I could live in Portugal and still work, online, or I could, digital nomads, like everything is how you spin it and how you perceive your reality. That's kind of what I think Dr. Joe Dispenza was talking about, you create your reality. And I just saw a video today of Shirley MacLaine from way back, those of you who remember MacLaine out on a limb. Yeah. She was talking about, we are the director, the producer, the everything of our lives. And it's not just once in a while in your life, you think, oh, this accidental thing happened. It was coincidence. No, there are no coincidences. She was saying it's happening every single moment and breath of your life, everything that's unfolding. And so, Winter was showing this beautiful, positive advantage that has happened from COVID. And you talk to a different person who might say, oh, it's the worst thing that ever happened. We're never going back to normal. And, I want to go back into the office. And some people do, but it's just an example of how you vibrate and where you put your focus and perception. That's what you're going to manifest.
Right. Exactly. That's true. And it can also be subconscious. Like there are people that maybe consciously are saying, oh yeah, I want X, Y, and Z. But if subconsciously they're very connected to their fear and their lack and all that. So like part of them is saying, oh yes, I definitely want to do this. But there's, the little voice, sorry, it's not going to happen. You can't do it. Not for you. You're not deserving. Then the universe hears that louder.
Well, yeah, Mari, you're absolutely right. And that's why in like the workshops that we teach, we do retreats for manifesting, whole weekend long things. And there's a section I lead called the split apart healing. And that's when we have to remember to work on our past wounded stuff. Like I do this beautiful guided meditation where we go into the temple that's holding your split aparts or your inner children that have been waiting there for you to come get them and integrate them. So wounds, right? Wounded times in our past, traumas. And some of that work has to be done at some point, but it's beautiful work. It's not just hard work. It's important and it makes your life more full and enriched and actually powerful. And you have to take at some point in your life a look into those places in you that may not have been addressed for a long time, because those unconscious parts, like you said, Mari, can be vibrating. He's not safe. He's not safe. I don't trust love. I don't trust love. He's going to hurt us. He's going to hurt us. Right. When your adult self is like, sweetheart, I've healed. It's okay. Come on. I'll take you along. You don't have to pick my new partner. I'll pick him. Do you see what I mean? So you integrate that wounded split apart, that split off at a very real time of trauma, and it's still hanging out there vibrating that, but it's not necessary anymore. That's over. And you've grown and survived and evolved. So when you integrate those parts, they become your allies. And you can work together to find the right, whatever it is you're manifesting.
Yeah,
so healing,
100%.
Personal healing, yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's important for people to recognize that everybody has that. It's not like you're damaged or broken, but everybody has trauma. And it doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. It just means it's important to address those things so that you can manifest what you want and you're not sort of working against yourself, if that makes sense.
Well, you're human. It kind of comes along with the territory, at least at this time on Earth. When we incarnate, we still deal with woundedness because we're not completely realized or enlightened yet.
Yep, exactly. Very true.
So, Katherine, I know you did the exercise when you were working with Susan earlier, but I told everyone to think of something at that point.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, it's called Snow Globe.
Okay.
All right, so everybody, now you need to know. I mean, you can repeat this exercise on your own, and this is being recorded. It's available on Mari and my YouTube channels. And then, Katherine, you can always upload it to yours if you'd like. So the exercise will be available for you guys to rewatch if you forgot. If you have a memory like mine, which is a sieve, I walk into the room and say, why am I here? But
Well,
this is
I
a
was,
good
yep.
thing for a medium because I can't remember what you told me anyway.
Nope, walking in two worlds, sister.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to hand this over. I'm going to try the exercise too.
Yeah, everyone do it with me. It's wonderful. So this was
Well-
given to me by my beloved teacher, who's no longer on this planet, on this dimension. And it's a wonderful exercise, and I do use it in my classes for manifesting. So real simple, you know, those snow globes that have like a Christmas scene in them, like a crystal ball with snow. Well, you want to put one of those in front of your mind's eye, but without anything in it, just an empty ball, maybe on a platform or not, it's up to you. And what you're going to do is you're going to visualize, and don't worry if you don't see things clearly, you're going to feel, see, know, hear. You're going to place the thing you want to manifest, and not only the thing, but the situation around it, like the whole scene, into the snow globe, and you're going to put yourself in the scene in the snow globe. Example, you want to manifest a new car. Okay, see the car, smell the car. What color is the car? Put yourself in the car. Are you driving in the car? Are you sitting in the car? Listen to the music in the car. What sounds are around you? All of that stuff. See yourself bringing the car home into your driveway. So whatever it is you want to manifest, you put that situation and scenario into the snow globe, and you allow yourself to expand on that scene. You're creating the scene in the snow globe. And I do it, I feel my energy kind of lifting from my heart, which is getting like excited. And then it comes right into my brow, my third eye chakra. And I really zap it, like let myself see it, visualize it. I can feel all this energy in my head. And I'm placing this scenario in this snow globe. And as I'm looking at it, I'm smelling the smells around me. I'm hearing the sounds around me. Who's with you? What people are involved in this scene with you? What are you doing? How do you feel? And let yourself get really excited about the fact that you have actually manifested this scenario. There it is. There's your car. There's your new partner. There's that house. There's that trip, whatever it is you're wanting, that job, that happy, fulfilling employment. See it, feel it, know it. Taste it, all of it, and just let the energy build and build the way I'm doing it. And I'm holding with my hands, I'm empowering it with the energy in my hands. And I'm breathing into this feeling. And then, like Abraham Hicks talks about, hold it for 17 seconds minimum, that sort of that excited feeling. It's a little bit almost manic. It's just, I always get a big smile on my face when I do this, and like my toes are curling, and I'm like totally embodying this vibe, right? And I see the scene in the snow globe. And then watch me, if your eyes are closed, open them for a second. I take the snow globe and I offer it up to the divine, to the universe, to the cosmos. And I say, this or better for my highest good, so be it. And then we're going to do it again. Go back to the snow globe, put the scene in the snow globe, hold it, build it, see who's with you, smell it, feel it, hear it, breathe it in, look at the scene, look at the whole vibe, and let it build again, and breathe and get excited and feel how happy you are to have this thing that you're manifesting with all your heart, and really hold that vision. And allow it to expand and to become pulsing with life and realness, and just get excited about it. And then, you take a little longer, but for the sake of the exercise, we're going to keep moving. And you place it up one more time to the divine, this or better for my highest good, so be it. And then you do it one more time. You need to do it 3. I know it's a little tedious, but you do it. And you put the scene in the snow globe, and you hold that energy and hold that vision, and see it and allow it and create it, and just feel the juiciness and the aliveness of it, all embodied in your frequency. Like, yeah, this is awesome. And let it grow bigger and stronger and bigger and fuller, and push it up to the heavens and say, thank you, this or better for my highest good, so be it. And then you let it go. You let it go and you give it to the divine. And then you watch. And if ever you do think about it again, and maybe your human self goes, oh, geez, I don't know if I'm seeing any signs of that, do it again. Put that vision in that snow globe and re-energize it. Because Earth time, even though it is speeding up and we are manifesting faster, Sometimes, depending on our stuff, our vibration, our energy, our wounds, our beliefs, we can get dense again. So we have to remember to raise our frequency and vibration and trust, surrender, let it go, and believe. It's huge, huge thing is to believe and kind of be like, okay, if this is meant for me, it'll happen, you know?
Excellent. Thank you, Catherine. That was fantastic. I'm going to certainly try to practice that.
Teach your kids.
You know, my kids, you know how we were saying that, you know, you got to keep positive and then let it go. My daughter is the antagonist of that. My oldest one, she will insist, you know, she'll want to do something, like she wanted to do 40 countries before she hit 30 and she didn't think she'd do it. Oh, now she's done it at 28 and a half.
She's a serious manifester. She's already got it.
She wanted to get to her top residency program after med school, and she's all, I'm not good enough, not going to happen. She got her first choice. I mean, it just and I was just like, you're fine, don't blow it. But no matter, she's just able to do it anyway.
Well, I think the kids that are coming into the planet now, honestly, you know, they're super high vibration people, and they're super high knowing and super wise, and they can manifest way more instantly than some of the older generations can. But we were sort of the forerunners, the way showers. We just had to work harder to clear the way for them.
I'm like, don't do that. You know, just stay positive, let it go. I'm giving her all this. Nah. But yet it works. So
yeah,
there you go.
She does it without.
But I'm going to try your way. So, let me tell everybody, please. Both of my beautiful co-hosts today, Mari and Catherine, have both been nominated in OM magazine's for their OMIs, which is for anybody on Long Island. That's kind of like Best of Long Island in particular categories. So in the chat room, Mari has been nominated for Animal Communicator of the Year, and Catherine has been nominated for Psychic or Medium? Spiritual medium for the year. They both do it all well, though. So if you would please vote, the links are there. If you can't see the links, then it's www.ommies.com/the category. So animal communication for Mari, spiritual medium for Catherine. And like the Best of Long Island, you are allowed to vote one category or once a day for each category. So they would be much appreciative, and it helps them manifest a positive end result.
Absolutely.
And they're wonderful ladies who work very hard for spirit. So if you guys could put some votes out for them, I'd appreciate it, as would they.
And, you know, this is another subject I can quick squeeze into this whole topic. So, you know how we human beings, the ego self, can get uncomfortable if it's too much attention on you, or your ego can go like, that's just, don't look at that. It's okay. I'm fine. You get embarrassed if someone compliments you or gives you, vote for Catherine. I start to feel all, ooh. But you know what? It's better to just open that fifth chakra, receive those compliments. We've worked hard to get here. We deserve it. It's okay. And just open your arms and say, yes, universe. Because that too is how you manifest. It's not from pride and greed. It's from, okay, this came my way. It's on my path. I'm going to receive it. Oh, and that's another thing with manifesting. Check your receiving levels. So after you put out a prayer or a vision or a dream or a vision board, there's a really quick exercise, really quick. Just close your eyes. Imagine a number in your forehead between 0 and 100 and just see what it is right off the bat without doing anything. Just what do you get? Oh, it's 9 or 45 or 100. That barometer in this exercise is called your receiving levels. So how high are your receiving levels every day? Check them every day and put them up to 100%. I am open to receive my divine inheritance 100% today. Because we can habitually walk around with low receiving levels and low expectations of what we either deserve because what we were told in childhood or past life bleed through of lack or punishment or persecution. So really reminding yourself, okay, it's present time, it's this life, that's over. I open my receiving levels 100%. Just push that barometer up. It looks like the old-fashioned thermometers in my head, with the 0 to 100, just push it up. Because check those receiving levels and open them big every day, and that will help you manifest.
Very cool. That's a good idea. Absolutely. No, I think that's great.
Levels, yeah.
Exactly. And so to check,
your daughter, Winter, your daughter, huge receiving levels. They're huge. They're wide open. That's why she manifests like that.
Oh, see, I'm thinking it's the reverse, because she's always like, yeah, I'm not really good enough. I'm not going to get that. I'm not,
But it happens.
Don't say that.
but it didn't matter because she got it anyway. So her unconscious receiving levels are already up there.
Okay. That's the point. It's like
she's expecting maybe the negative shoe to fall, probably from past life stuff,
Yeah. I mean,
right.
she's that perfectionist, she gets 102 on the exam and I'm like, oh, wow, that's fantastic. She's like, yeah, but it's not the 105.
Then you say, you know what, sweetie, that's in the past. That life is over. This life, you have it all. Just let it in. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
So Mari, two quick things.
Yes.
I'd like to we're going to have a card pull. And before I do that, I want to just kind of advertise one thing. March 19th, it's a Sunday at 2:00 in the New York, Massachusetts time, 7:00 in the UK time. My colleague from the UK, Rachel Cope, and I are going to do a Zoom demonstration, all proceeds going to Alley Cat's Rescue, which is a rescue down. It's on Long Island, but they do rescue. They will provide pets to people in Massachusetts and Pennsylvania and New Jersey. So they work with fosters and adopters in other states besides New York. Nice little group. And so we're trying to raise some money because, cat rescue is going to be real tough this year with the warm winter we have. So, okay.
That's true.
So $25 are the tickets, 20 pounds or 25 USD. It's on my website and it's Zoom. And I really would appreciate if we could sell some more tickets. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. And this is the card I'm pulling for everybody. Now the deck is the Akashic Records. And it was created by Sharon Ann Klinger and her sister, Sandra Ann Taylor from Lilydale, New York. Nice. We got Uriel and the Sphinx. So the meaning of the card, I opened right to it. Archangel Uriel stands before the Sphinx under a full moon. The Sphinx is usually shown with the body of a lion, indicating strength, and the head of a king, showing authority and intelligence. But more than this, the Sphinx represents the enigmatic, and inscrutable, the silent holder of truth and ancient mysteries of the world. Here, Archangel Uriel connects and confers with this great source of mystery. This card shows that it's time for you to do the most important and possibly the most difficult work in your life, the digging and inner discovery that takes you to your deepest self and your deepest power. See, just like Catherine was talking about, you have to go do that soul retrieval, the split parts, and then your power becomes even greater as you incorporate them back into your soul. Even the great Sphinx had to be dug out many times from the blowing desert sands that buried it up to its neck. And you must dig diligently too. You may have to chip away at the rock-like substance of your old beliefs and histories so that you can get to the truth inside. But don't worry, you have begun already, and you've made considerable inroads. There's also someone here to help you, Uriel, whose name means fire of God. You can work directly in your meditations with this archangel for self-understanding, transformation, and guidance. Also, be on the lookout for someone in your daily life whom Uriel has sent. This could be a teacher, a mentor, or even a new friend who shares a kinship with you about this inner quest. It's a relationship of great value that comes in a time of profound power. Don't diminish the importance of this phase. It is this work that leads you to your initiation and to your higher power. And that, of course, will assist you with the manifesting that Katherine has so lovingly instructed us on today.
And it's far out, you guys. I think Mari's in this book too. We were part of a book called 365 Days of Angel Prayers, and that each contributing author wrote or channeled a prayer for one of the angels, and mine was Uriel.
Oh, wow.
Oh, awesome.
Isn't that wild? It's June 20th is the date that in my book, each author gets a date or a chapter or whatever. I did June 20th. That's my wedding anniversary. And I channeled how to connect with our Archangel Uriel and your divine identity. It's cool.
Wow, that goes right with this card.
Yeah.
My birthday is the 21st.
Oh, excellent.
So
great number.
Awesome. Love that. Mari, what do you have coming up on your schedule that you'd like to tell folks about?
What do I have coming up? That's the question. I have to go back to what I wrote. So yes, thank you for talking about the Amis. That's such a great honor, was not expected at all. And would definitely appreciate anybody going to vote. You can vote every day until March 1st. So just keep that in mind for myself and Katherine, and there's a lot of different categories. But thank you for bringing that up, Winter. I have a couple things that are coming up. I'm working on setting a date, trying to figure out the calendar. Everything feels like it's just getting busier and busier. So I'm going to be on Voice of Spirit, which is KCOR radio with Leo Bonomo, working on a date for that. And also the Morgan White Show, which is on iHeartRadio, but it's also local to Boston. It's WBZ Radio 1030. Working on some dates in the next month or two for that as well. But you can find all the info about me and all my events on my website, mediammari.com. And, I'll go on Facebook Lives or Instagram on sometimes, so you can check that out as well. And I know, Winter, you have a lot of stuff coming up as well, other than, your charity benefit that you're doing.
Yes, thank you. Actually, tonight, if you haven't gotten sick of me already, I'm going to be with Dr. Susan Barnes from Lilydale on her spiritual support program. It's on BraveBoldTV.com, and I'm going to put the link up on my Facebook page after our show, and you can call in or you can just watch the recording. I just did a show with for the Spirit School, Danielle Sirac over in British Columbia, and that should be coming out. You pre-record it. It'll come out in about 2 weeks. I will be in Lilydale for the infamous physical symposium in Victorian times, physical mediumship. There are still places available. It's a one-of-a-kind event with 3 top world renowned physical mediums. Gary's now gotten full materializations while working versus just sitting in with in Sweden. And I'm going to be one of the tutors. Then Mari and I, our next show, we're going to have the Angel Lady on March 20. It's in March, and it's going to be.
I know, that's what I was going to ask you. I didn't remember the date.
I have it written down, March 30th, right around the time of Easter.
Okay.
We thought we'd have her. I don't know. I have some other shows I'm going to be doing and classes as well. So check my website. They always have them up there, and you can sign up for my newsletter as well. So, and at that note, Catherine, would you like to fill everybody in on what you have upcoming?
Sure. Busy spring. Well, we have a workshop in Portugal in Lagos. If anyone wants to come there, we're teaching psychic and mediumistic development. And my husband is going to be teaching his Jivatma energy healing for anybody. You don't have to be an energy healer to learn it, but it's a beautiful, powerful, elegant form of energy healing. It kind of combines Ayurveda and the meridians. It's all with hands-on. It's beautiful. So we're teaching that in Portugal in March 26th, 27th. But also in April, we're teaching a retreat in Florida, Madison, Florida, which is outside of Jacksonville at a beautiful retreat center. And we will be doing, I'll be talking about the human aura, the energy field, educating on that. And again, doing psychic training, mediumship training, connecting with your spirit, your intuition. Jonathan will be teaching Jivatma and his Ayurvedic stuff. And then there's another couple we're teaching with who do yoga and music sound healing. So it's a big, like, combined mishmash melting pot of all of our gifts. And it's going to be fabulous I think it's called, there's a flyer on my Facebook page and my website, katherineglass.com. And that's going to be all about tools for living in these times, really. And in May, one of my wonderful mentors and teachers is coming to Concord and to Haverhill and to Quincy. There's a spiritualist church there. Sheila French is a British medium and trance medium, and that's her expertise is trance, and she does it all. And she will be teaching a class in Concord at Healing Essence Center, my healing center, May 5th, 6th, and 7th for mixed level mediumship development, beginner to advanced. And then she's doing a professional working mediums class, limited space there, maybe up to 16 or 18. And that's on May 3rd. And there's a demonstration of mediumship at my office in Concord. Sheila, myself, and Nancy Smith, who's a spirit artist, will be demonstrating mediumship and bringing messages from loved ones. And that's on May 4th, which is a Thursday at my office. I know these are far out dates. And then she's also going to be teaching in Quincy at the Quincy Spiritualist Church, trance medium class. And I'm going to be assisting with those other trainings. I'm assisting her in teaching, but the DEMS I'll be a part of. And then there's a demonstration, I think, in Haverhill, May 10th. There's a mediumship class there too. I mean, it's a lot. There's a lot going on. And I think you'll be able to find it all on my website, katherineglass.com. And it's Catherine with a K, and on my Facebook page and on Instagram. And you know how it is. So thank you.
Awesome. Exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh, and I teach classes too, but that's going to start in the fall. I'll start another beginning and level 1 and level 2, I think, in the fall, September, October, I'll be teaching. It's just 6 classes. It's nice. It's condensed, and it's, on a weekend day for like 3 hours. I try to make it spread it out so it doesn't take
in person
in Concord. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I got to do Zoom stuff. I haven't started that yet.
Oh, it's fun. That's what I've mainly been doing.
Zoom training. Yeah.
It all works well. The only thing that I'm not thrilled with is if I'm teaching physical. Physical's okay if I'm just kind of lecturing a bit, but with the pixelation on varying computer screens,
yeah, I can imagine.
See. But students do, whether even if we're sitting in all different states and countries, they do feel the phenomena, believe it or not.
It's just, I'm in awe of that. It's incredible.
So, well, I'm going to have Gary, if you can't make it to the Lilydale Symposium, I'm having Gary Mannion come down to Long Island. But Lilydale's probably closer to you, but you're more than welcome if you want to come down. And I've been at his seances, and he'll be here the 7th and 8th of July. And the seances that I saw, actually, one of them, my father, he's learning, his spirit team is doing precipitated art. And my dad came through.
Wow.
This is my dad. And on a prior show, I have a picture of my dad from like 10 years ago that matches. Or maybe it's 20 years ago now. But there was levitation. There was like a 3-person couch that got levitated with the people on. There was, my chair was moved. The chair was tipped, all in the seance. Grabbed. Usually I get tapping. He gets grabbed. It's like,
it's incredible.
The most phenomenal thing.
I want to channel a fairy.
In April, guys, we're going to have Dr. Susan Barnes, who's the organizer of the Lilydale event. This is the first time that Lilydale is hosting a whole week symposium on physical mediumship. And Mari and I will have Dr. Sue here talking about that event, and that'll be the end of April, that show. And I'll explain things if I'm using terminology that some of you may not be familiar with. It's the most over-the-top experience to be able to sit in a good physical mediumship seance. So take advantage if the opportunity arises, because as Katherine points out, there's all kinds of mental mediumship demonstrations, and they're all, they're wonderful experiences, and I love working mentally too. But there's not so many opportunities to sit in physical seances.
It's rare.
It's mind-blowing. So
where in Long Island? I'm curious. I got 5 years of my clairvoyant training was in Glen Cove at St. Joseph's monastery.
Oh, okay. I'm in Northport, which is probably about 40 minutes east of there. I'm right on the water. I see Connecticut out my back window.
Nice.
But it takes 3 hours to get there. It's only 6 miles by Long Island Sound, or as a crow flies. But yeah, so the seances are only 15 per people in the room. It's not like a huge thing. Yeah, think about it.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. I love Long Island. I'm from New York originally, so I'm a New Yorker.
Have you come down and brighten up? Mari's thinking about it.
I'm thinking about it. Maybe road trip. We might have to do road trip. I don't know. I have to check the dates changed, I guess. So I have to check the dates.
Yes, they did, Mari, because they want to do an extra seance in Lilydale after the symposium. And so we just decided to let him go up and do Schenectady and Buffalo, and then he'll come to Long Island before he goes back to the UK, which is actually good for me because I have to ready my office because we will be doing the seance in the dark. Although when he materializes ectoplasm, he does put on low red light and low blue light. So there is light once it's materialized and you can see it. But anyway, see where I get excited. I just want to thank everyone for coming. And thank you both for doing this with me. Mari, my good buddy, and Katherine, it's so nice to see you again and work with you today.
You as well, Winter. Thank you so much. And thank you, Mari.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on. It was such a treat. The exercises were awesome. And I think a lot of the information you gave would be really helpful to a lot of people. So if you are watching this, then this pertains to you. So think about it.
All right. So everyone have a good, healthy month, and we'll see you back next month.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.